Gretchen Diez, the most talk about transgender women in the Philippines. I am an entrepreneur, right? I'm running a business. I own a restaurant. I'm also a philanthropist. I am a cognitive development specialist by profession, and I am an advocate for transgender rights. Movement and the way I speak ever since I was a child. And it's my dad who really raised me. So I think they already have observed my behavior, my gestures. So I didn't really had a hard time telling my parents or my family about my gender. I think the only part where I had a hard time is when I started transitioning, like physically, because my mom didn't really want me to transition. Because here in the Philippines, the discrimination is really that bad that if you would come out as trans, you will be bullied in school, you will be judged by people if you find a good job or land a good job if you're trans woman here in the Philippines. So I think that's the struggle for me, transitioning from from male to female. And I understand why my mom is really reluctant at first to allow me to transition, but I really followed my heart because from the start, it's what I really wanted. Employment, when it comes to education, public service, and health services. There is a bill here in the Philippines, which has been around for 2 decades now, and it's called an anti-discrimination bill or the socio equality bill. It has been reviewed, it has been talked about in the Senate and in the Congress, but for some reason, that bill has always been hanging there. And for 2 decades, people are still are still doubtful about the essence of that bill. Wherein that bill only wish to promulgate the basic needs and the basic rights of every Filipino people of every gender. Like, first of all, the right to education. The bill uh, wish to make sure that regardless of your gender, you should be allowed to have good education and you should be accepted. That transgender people would have the same rights, the same opportunities that are given to cisgender women and cisgender male. Like, for example, right now there are really few teachers who are trans women simply because of that discrimination, that stigma that trans women cannot be working with children. There are also very few numbers of doctors, architects, and engineers who are trans people simply because of the discrimination they're going through when it comes to applying to these professional jobs. So I wish that one day we'll be able to meet the same, to have the same opportunities, the same rights, and be able to really pursue what it is that we really want in our lives. They always thought of trans women as those women who are working um, in a low level industry. That's really a struggle because no matter how many times that we prove ourselves to the world or to the society, we still lack that representation. When they look, when they turn on their TV and watch, TV shows, they see trans women as assistants to the main character. Is either they're working for the man, and it's also often that we are represented as people who would just to get love, and that becomes a culture nowadays. People think that trans women should be paying for toys for men just for us to get the love that we need, and that hurts us deep inside because here in the Philippines, it seems like we're hopeless. It seems like we can find true love because of that culture, because of what the media is trying to tell people, that it doesn't matter whether a man truly loves us or not. The society dictates that we are not worthy of love. We are only deserving of love if we give money to reciprocate love that we are receiving. So those are the struggles. Just imagine people are belittling you even if you have good school records or if you have the capacity to be respected, people still look down on you because of that stigma. And it's really hard to find a good relationship, a healthy relationship in this country simply because we grew up in a culture where trans women are viewed as financiers or trans women are viewed as sugar mommies. I don't think anything's more depressing than feeling like you're not worthy of love, feeling that you're not worthy of respect. When you remove love and respect from an individual, then that individual becomes and feels like they're nothing. So right now, I think the morale of the trans community is really low simply because we are still considered as second-class citizens, and that to me is really hurtful. I don't think that any person, regardless of their gender, deserves to feel that way.